Hello my superstar artists. Today we are going to record a picture of a little bird that is the main character in a lovely book that I believe you will be read in assembly this week. So this is Little Bird, and this is one of the other little characters in the book. There's lots of very sweet animals, so the squirrel, but we're going to do the bird. We have done quite a few birds, so you should be pretty good at this. You'll probably be even better than me at it, I am no doubt, in actual fact. You can also give the squirrel a go, but I haven't done the video for the squirrel. This is the book, The Dawn Chorus. Okay, and I'm sure you'll enjoy having it read to you by Miss Pierce when she does it for her assembly. We're going to do the picture of the beautiful little bird that is in that book and that story. So are we ready? You need to get yourself a piece of paper. I would make it portrait so that I'm just going to zoom this out for you. You can, once you've drawn your picture, your bird, you can draw the tree around it. You don't have to do the squirrel. If you want to try the squirrel, you can. Okay, right, are we ready? Let's go. Okay, so our first step is you are going to do 2 dots, 1, 2, on your piece of paper. Now, I would do it about a hand and a bit. For me, it's 1 hand. Can you see? This is the edge of my page, just at the bottom here. I'm just on the edge here. For me, it's 1 hand. For you, with the slightly smaller hands, might be a hand and a bit. And you do 1 dot. And that first dot is it's actually about halfway up the page and about a finger and a bit in, maybe just a bit more than a finger. Okay, and then you do 2 dots, 2 spaces, and you make that second dot. That second dot is a little bit lower, so don't make it at the same level. Look, if it was the same level, I'm running the pencil straight across. Can you see it's a bit lower? And these 2 dots, just so that you're clear what you're doing, represent this bit just above the wing and this bit here on the bird. So at the moment we're going to focus on drawing the head. Okay, so got our 2 dots. We always spend time doing the first bit because that helps set the whole picture up, doesn't it? So you've got your 2 dots, and now you're going to add a 3rd dot. You're going to allow about a thumb space, and in between, right in the middle of the 2 dots, but a thumb space above the higher dot, more than a thumb. If you're key stage 1, it's almost 2 thumbs because you've got tiny little thumbs, haven't you? Okay, that's going to help guide us to make the head shape. And now you're going to do you're going to think you're drawing a beautiful hill. You're going to go up the hill, join it to that first dot and down the hill, and give it a little flick. So you've got this lovely shape. Don't worry if it's not perfect. If it's not exactly as you think you want it, afterwards you can just amend it with your rubber. Okay, you can just improve it a bit with your rubber. So we've got our little hill here. Go round. And then you're going to come down the middle again of your shape. And you're going to allow, for me it's about from the bottom, from this bit here, it's 2 fingers. For you, I think it might be 3, because you're going to come to the bottom part of the tummy of your bird. That's what this dot represents. Okay, it's the bottom part of the bird's tummy. So this is where you're coming from, this dot, and you come round and down. Okay, you can see this is the bit we've initially drawn. I'll just go over it there so you can see. So this is the sort of shape you'll have now. Okay. Okay, so we have this shape here. I'm just going to zoom it in a bit. That will help, I think. And now you're going to do another dot. This is going to show us where the tip of the tail is. This bit here, just here. Okay. And the key is that it needs to be further out than your first dot, about 1 finger further out. and about a finger and a half up, because you're going to just make sure it goes up. Okay, up and out, and that's where you put your dot. Okay, and then you join it from the bottom of the tummy. That should be your last join. That's the line you're doing now. You should have this shape already. So now we have the lovely shape of the bird. Don't worry if you're not happy with it yet. You can always improve it, remember. And then you're just going to put a little dot, just a little space in towards the inside of the bird. This is just going to be a little space between the bottom of his sort of tail area and the feather. And you join it up. Okay. Happy? Hopefully. And now you're going to do a sort of number line jump, I suppose, or an indent. I would call it an indent. Or if you're doing a giant capital D, if you're in Key Stage 1, and you join the two spaces with this big indent, like a capital D, almost, as if you're not doing it quite properly, because it should keep going round, shouldn't it? Yeah. But this is showing the wing. So don't make it too flat. Give it a nice round shape, but don't go too far into the tummy, because you need to allow for this. Okay, so this is what you're drawing now. Okay, and then so you've just drawn this. Now you're going to come out and have a little bit of fun doing. You come out a little bit and then you do some little zigzags in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out to the other side, and you join it up. And you have your first wing. Now you're going to do the tail. So you just come here and you just do two little lines about, they're a bit longer than your finger, or they're about your finger. For me, that's about my finger, this one. For you, it might be a little bit more than your finger. And the top side of the tail, so this is what you're doing now, this tail. I'll just leave it here. The top side of the tail comes out. Give it a little bit of a flick. Make it a bit longer. Okay. It's like you were doing two antennae, but they're not antennae, are they? And then this tail doesn't have the zigzag, although if you want to give it zigzag, that's fine. But I've just done it with, I've joined it with a curve. Okay. If you want to give it a zigzag, that's fine. It's your drawing, it's your bird. Now we're going to do the other wing. So you've done these two, the wing, the tail. Now you're going to come up here and do this wing. And you just start that wing just where your tummy sort of comes in. Your little bird's, it's quite a plump bird, isn't it? So where the tummy, it's almost where you did that second dot when you started, right at the beginning, is the same point where you do the wing. So do you remember right at the beginning that we did these two dots? Yes? That's where you start your wing, and you flick it out. And then you allow about a finger space. Don't go too high up, because you're going to need to put the beak. Can you see? And you do another line, you flick it upwards, give them a curve. This one goes up that way. Okay, give it a curve, and this one has a curve but the other way. So this curve goes this way, this curve goes the other way. And then you have a bit of fun by joining it with some zigzag. Yes? Good job. Now you're going to do the beak. Now the beak, I've made it an open beak because the bird is singing. Because this book is a lot about the bird wanting to sing. So it's basically two little almost triangle shapes, but they have a curve to them. So don't make them perfect straight lines. And you do a little line like that with a curve. And once you've done your first one, that gives you an idea of what the size of the rest of the beak will be. Whatever this first one is your guide for the other lines. and then it comes down with a curve coming out. Okay, so just to show you, the first bit, the curve is like this, and then it comes down slightly. It's almost, you're almost doing a tooth, aren't you? This one's a bit exaggerated. Okay, but the curve is the opposite way. And then the next one, and that one. And there you've got your open beak. Just make it, just keep trying until you're happy with it, and keep seeing. If you want to improve it, you just rub it out and try again. Okay, I had to try quite a few times with this one, with the beak, to get it just how I want it. This is probably not a good example actually, because it's a bit too curved. Right, so now we've got our beak. Now this eye is very important because it's showing an expression here of sort of contentment. Okay, so, and it's showing that it's closed, but in actual fact, because he's singing and the eye is closed, it's showing an expression of contempt. So you just do a short curve. Don't make it a straight line. Don't make it, the curve must be going. It's almost like a smile. Think you're doing a smile, but it's the eye. If you do it the other way and it doesn't look like a smile, then it will change the expression of the bird completely. And then you add the two little legs, which are two little parallel lines that come down. Two sets of them. Very skinny. Remember, birds' feet are terribly skinny, so you do two sets of little parallel lines. And then you just don't try and make it really small so that you don't make a big fuss. I just did another two little parallel lines, slightly fanning out, and just did a little line at the end. I didn't really spend too much time on the feet. I'm not too worried about it. I've made them quite small. And that, I know at the moment it's as if he's standing, he or she I think it is standing in thin air, but then what you're going to do is draw your branch underneath the feet. So I know that this is what I want to do. So this is where she's standing. So I do a curved line. I can do whatever I want up to here. And then I'm going to do the other bit of the branch coming underneath her feet. It's the end of the branch, so I'm going to make it join together to make it quite thin. And then on this side, I bring my branch out and I bring it maybe to here, and here as well, but here I'm going to start fanning it out so that it can join the tree. Okay, and then maybe it doesn't join the tree just then, you maybe then do something like that. Here I've decided to have another branch that I'm going to have coming over my bird. Okay, and here my tree comes down, my tree trunk. Yes, and this is my tree trunk here. And this is this branch that's going above the bird. You can do your branch however you want, if you want to do a branch. Okay, and there you've got your tree and the tree trunk. You don't have to have this, but the bird does need to sit on a branch. Okay, and then you can add some leaves. So all you need to do is maybe add a little line, a little curve, and then to do a leaf, it's almost like doing a little lump, sort of a curve that's almost as if you're drawing a hill. But once you've drawn that side, it's symmetrical, so you must do the same the other side. Oh, as good as, not perfectly, because sometimes they have the wind might be blowing. Okay, so here I'm going to do another little curve, and then I'm going to do another little sort of hole shape, isn't it? It's almost like a hole in the ground. And now I'm doing the hill, and I join them together. Okay, and then this one here, I want it to have a few leaves on it, so I do a slightly bigger one, and I maybe make it with a little bit of and I drew one leaf and a second leaf. Okay, And you can just keep going, add some leaves up here, add your squirrel until you want. And then this is how I did it, because this particular bird has these specific markings. I won't give the game away, you'll see it in the story. And if you haven't seen the story, then have a look at the story. But she's a very particular bird, so these are her markings, but you can draw her however you want, okay? If you want to give her some different colours. I look forward to seeing your amazing works of art. Don't forget to share them either on social media or email them into your teachers. They always love seeing your work, okay? And we love seeing your work. I particularly love seeing your work. I'm so impressed by everything you do, okay? Bye bye children, look forward to seeing you again soon.